G'day legends, happy Friday out there. In today's video, I am going to be going through the entire pound for pound list of the UFC, and I'm going to be I'm going to be deciding, guessing, and calculating what is going to be the outcome of every single fighter on the pound for pound list by the end of the year. This is like the ultimate predictions video. You want me to do a predictions video on Blanchfield versus Barber? Shove it up, your UFC. I'm not doing it. This is way more fun anyway. I'll play with the top of the pound for pound list instead of worrying about UFC 316. Who's gonna win? You know, bloody Kelvin Gastelum or Joe Pyfer. Who cares, mate? Nobody. So let's start at the bottom of the pound for pound list and work our way up. I think that's more fun than starting at the top of the pound for pound list because I don't know. Whenever I do these tier lists, I know some of the boys out there on the live stream like to clown me about it, but I like to start at the bottom. I like to build to a nice crescendo. I don't want to go all in, full thrust straight away. You know what I mean? I'm an older sort of a man. I like to take things slow and build up to it. So coming in at number 15 on the pound for pound was Charles Oliveira. Charles Oliveira is going to be fighting number 3 on the pound for... Okay, well, that throws that plan out of the window. But whatever. Let's go over to the blackboard and have a look. Right, so Charles Oliveira. Charles Oliveira. Well, let's stick to him. But he is going to be going in there against Ilia Topuria, number 3 next. So the big question is Charles Oliveira going to get the win over Ilia Topuria? I don't think he is, man. I don't think he is. Big call, I know, but I think, well, not really that big of a call. I think Ilia Topuria is coming in as the favorite, isn't he? Let me know about it down there in the comments. Is he coming in as the favorite? Charles Oliveira. I think he gets slept by Ilia Topuria. I think it's a competitive fight. But I think Ilia Topuria can scramble and get his way out of it. You know, Arman Tsarukyan, although in the first round, Arman Tsarukyan was only saved by his shorts coming off. Is Ilia Topuria the kind of guy to get butt naked in the middle of the cage to stop himself getting choked out? Are we the kind of guy that's going to get naked to stop ourselves from getting choked out? Would I rather be naked in front of the middle of the T-Mobile Arena or be choked out by Charles Oliveira? That's the question now, isn't it? I'd rather be naked than choked out by Charles Oliveira. We are going to survive being choked out by Charles Oliveira. We're going to be able to scramble, and then we're going to get up. And Ilia Topuria, where our hands are just going to be too fast for old man Charles. I think Charles Oliveira, my official pick is he's getting slept by Ilia Topuria, and we're not seeing him again until Miami next year. I think this is it for Charles Oliveira in 2025. Miami next year, maybe 1 or 2 more fights, and then we're talking about retirement for Charles Oliveira. So that's my big prediction for Charles Oliveira by the end of 2025. Moving up the pound for pound list is Tommy Aspinall. Tommy Aspinall. No. John Jones is a duck. Tommy Aspinall. All right, so big Tommy Aspinall. You know, I just want to fight John Jones. Hello there, John. Does John Jones fight Tom Aspinall by the end of 2025? This is the question, isn't it? Is Madison Square Garden going to happen or not? Why are we even waiting for Madison Square Garden? Why are we allowing... We don't need to do this. This has been the conversation of the MMA community for the last month. Does it actually happen? Yes or no right now, Dougie? Does John Jones fight Tom Aspinall? No. John Jones says yes, signs up to fight at Madison Square Garden, gets injured just before the fight. Cyril Gane is the backup. Cyril Gane isn't the backup fighter because Cyril Gane is a coward and just would rather be on movie sets. And unless it's guaranteed, Cyril Gane isn't taking the fight. John Jones injures himself, and Tom Aspinall fights Jailton Almeida at Madison Square Garden in November, and then fights again early next year because Tom Aspinall sleeps Jailton Almeida round 1. That's the pick for what's going to happen with Tommy Aspinall by the end of 2025. Somehow, we're going to go through the emotions of the John Jones signing, and then the Duck is just going to magically injure himself, and that'll be the end of it. And he'll be able to salvage his career saying, I never ducked John Jones. All these fans saying I ducked Tom Aspinall, they're annoying to me. But I'm out here living my best life, building this brand that I've made for myself. He'll duck the ducking allegations, by getting injured. That's what's going to happen by the end of 2025. You're hearing it now. I'm giving you the future, boys. I'm giving you the future. All right, Tommy Aspinall, back you go into the deck. Who's next? Alexandre Pantoja. Guys, I worked so hard for this to make it to 2025. I worked so hard for this. Loses to Kai Kara Fronts. Loses to Kai Kara Fronts. That's it. Loses to Kai Kara Fronts. And then because, and I'm sorry, Pantoja, you are going to go into the history books right next to Mighty Mouse. And what I mean by that is a great, phenomenal fighter that is just lost through the incapability of regular MMA fans to believe that a man your size could hurt one of us. And I know that's ridiculous, right? I know that any trained MMA fighter could beat one of the thousands of blokes that is up there in the T-Mobile Arena seats. You know, the ones drinking beer, having a great time, the boys. But we just don't like the look of flyweights. It's insane. I don't know why, but they don't get the respect. And I think Kai Kara France is going to get one over Pantoja. Or does Pantoja backpack ride his way to the win? And then fight again in December. He does love backpacking his way to the win. And then fights Manel Cap in December. Big switch up here. Change gears. Change gears. Change gears. I'm changing my mind. Here's what I think. I'm going to tell you what I think right now on YouTube. I think Kai Kara France pieces up Pantoja. Gets him. But Pantoja, the crafty vet that he is, backpacks Kai Kara France. And Kai Kara France's questionable wrestling isn't enough to get him the win. And it's one of those yet again arguments of you got to beat the champ to beat the champ. Doesn't exist, isn't written in the rules anywhere. But that's how Pantoja gets the win. And then it's Pantoja versus Manel Cap at the end of the year, which is a tasty fight. So in December, does Pantoja beat Manel Cap? Yes. Yes, he does. Kai Kara France retains. Pantoja retains for the rest of the year. I didn't expect it to go that way. That wasn't my initial. I didn't think we were going to be ending up with that. This is just as exciting for me as it is for you blokes out there. All right, next one up. Jack Della Maddalena. Oosh. The GOAT. This one's easy. I've already made a video breaking this one down. JDM sleeps Islam Makhachev. Guaranteed. All the people out there that are like, I want to see Islam Makhachev versus Ilia Topuria. Why? This is a harder fight for Islam Makhachev, man. This is a way harder fight. Islam Makhachev couldn't hold down Little Volk. Islam Makhachev couldn't hold down no hip having Dustin Poirier. Dustin Poirier's putting hands on Islam Makhachev. Moicano landed on Islam Makhachev. Moicano. Put all that together, JDM is sleeping Islam Makhachev at the end of the year in Abu Dhabi. And he's the one doing this to the crowd, JD, and then comes back to Australia and becomes the king of Australia. We march on Parliament and we install JD. I got to stop saying that. Australian internet providers, they're getting just as you guys know how it is over in England. It's getting the same over here in Australia. So we just make Jack Della Maddalena the cultural king of Australia. The cultural king. Alex Pereira. What is he now? He's number 8th on the pound for pound list, is old Alex Pereira. Does Alex Pereira, here's the question. Does Alex Pereira actually fight Magomed Ankalaev at the end of the year? I think he does. I think he fights Magomed Ankalaev at the end of the year. And this is the sad truth. I believe, in my mind and my heart and my soul, I believe that Alex Pereira is going to get done worse than in the first fight because he's going to have to now be on the front foot. And the thing with Magomed is everyone's running from his power for some reason. Alex Pereira is backing up the entire time. Rakic is backing up the entire time. Blachowicz isn't liking what's coming at him. They're backing up for some reason. And I think his shots have got thud to them, man. I do. I reckon his shots have got real thud to them. So I think with how old Alex Pereira is getting and how many miles on the clock there is, not a sleeping, but a classic kickboxing TKO stoppage in the corner and a retirement. a retirement. I think if Magomed Ankalaev beats him on the hands, TKOs him, we're looking at retirement. Or at least, during the Christmas break, we're arguing about retirement and whether or not we see Israel Adesanya versus Alex Pereira 3 before they run off into the sunset. And maybe there's some sort of a Legends Fight Night, Legends pay-per-view like they're doing for Dustin Poirier and Max Holloway now. Yes, that's what it is. He loses to Magomed, considers retirement. We, the fans, are like, bruh, we love you. Don't go anywhere. We're all still poetards at heart. And we consider Israel Adesanya versus Alex Pereira 3 over the Christmas break. I think that's what's the future for Alex Pereira. Moving up to number 7. The pound for pound list is a joke. We could do a whole other video re-racking the pound for pound list. That is a bloody joke. All right, moving up. We don't need Alex Pereira. We can delete him. Moving up, Alexander Volkanovski. Big Volk. He's back, boys. Look at him. He's bloody back, boys. We love seeing you back, Volk. It's good to have you back, mate. We put on so much pressure onto the UFC. They know that hashtag March at the UFC Apex is a thing. It's gathering steam. They're scared. They're scared about losing the core MMA fan base. And they have to move UFC Noche to America that they don't even bother with having that thing happening. Alexander Volkanovski, well, they're not going to do this. They're not going to do that. They're going to tell us to go fuck ourselves. They are. They hate us. They don't give a fuck about us. They know we're watching anyway. They couldn't give a shit. So they're going to say to us, listen, MMA fans, suck a fat cock. Yes, you buying the product anyway. We're giving you Alexander Volkanovski versus Yair Rodriguez, and Volk just fucking steamrolls Yair. I know, what if Yair head kick flukes him? Yeah, but I'm predicting what's going to happen by the end of the year. Volk steamrolls Yair. Steamrolls him. Makes it look easier than the first one. But Volk's gotten older. So's Yair, dude. And he didn't get past Brian Ortega, and he had to stay at the rangiest of range to get past old man Pitbull. You see what I'm saying here? Volk just pieced up Diego fucking Lopez. One of them is not aging like the other. Yeah? You know? Like, one of them's aging like Tom Cruise. The other one is aging like the chick that was in Maverick 1. Top Gun 1. Yeah? They are not aging the same. Different levels of aging is going on here. So Volk gets it over Yair and then books in Movza for early 2025 in Perth, Australia. Like that February card that's in Perth. He pushes for it. He leads the charge on it. And he goes down as one of the bloody greats, mate. He's built different, boys. Aussies are built different. Next one up. Alexander Volkanovski. Done. And why are you not moving? All right, next one up. Big Magomed. Pieces up Alex Pereira. There's not much to say about Magomed, really. There's not much to say. Pieces up Alex Pereira. What else can you say with that? I mean, it's not like we're going to have like some crazy up and downs with Magomed Ankalaev, you know? Not much is going to change. He's going to piece up Alex Pereira, and then he's going to disappear into the mountains again. Maybe on the way out, he's going to fling his phone to Ali Abdelaziz. Ali Abdelaziz is going to go, is there nobody else? We're all going to be like, yeah, Ali, we know it's you, mate. So yeah, Magomed is going to pay. Is he going to retire Alex Pereira? No. Alex Pereira is going to consider retirement, but he's not officially going to retire. Magomed, you're done. All right, next one up. Dricus du Plessis. Brother. Dricus du Plessis. Let me tell you about Dricus du Plessis, brother. Chad. BDP. The thickest of the Dricus. The hell? Why are you bouncing around like that? Dricus du Plessis. Coming in at number 5 on the pound for pound list. Khamzat Chimaev. Is this it? Does Dricus get past Khamzat Chimaev in a war? When is that? October? October. Is he going to fight twice this year? No, he isn't. Dricus doesn't fight. Look, for as much as I love Dricus, takeaway, he doesn't fight if he's injured, dude. He doesn't fight if he's injured. All the crap that the Dagestani fighters cop, Dricus actually should be copping that. Like, if Dricus is not 100% healthy, he's not fighting. To fight the people that are in front of him, I get it. Like, when he was offered to fight Israel Adesanya, you want to take an Israel Adesanya at 100%. Again, remember, this was an Israel Adesanya before Sean Strickland pieced him up. So this was when Izzy was still him, yeah? Now Izzy is like, yeah, we could take on Izzy if he's injured. We can take on Dricus. You and I can take on Izzy if he's injured. But Khamzat is not that, dude. This is the number 1 contenders fight of the year. And Dricus gets through him. Khamzat nearly 10-8s him in the first round. Looks like a 10-8ing, isn't actually a 10-8ing. Dricus is defending. Dricus is defending the second. Third round, Khamzat is gassing because Khamzat does have gas tank problems. Await the video breaking that down. Dricus gets through Khamzat Chimaev, talks shit for the rest of the year, and books in the January card in Canada. The UFC hate Dricus because he doesn't march to their timeline, so they give him the January card. If you're on the January card, Dana White is not your friend. You ain't John Jones, bruh. You're Movzar. Not Movzar. Who's the other one that got kicked out recently and she's fighting in Brave? What's his face? Muhammad Makayev. You're Makayev, mate. Goodbye, Dricus. Done. Next one up. Merab Dvalishvili. Merab. Oh, Merab. You have to be man. You got to fight like man. We're going to get in there. We have to go for it like man. You have to train. I'm looking into Merab's eyes and I don't like what I'm seeing back at me. Merab loses to Sean O'Malley. Loses to Sean O'Malley. Gets chinned. Spends the rest of the year rambling on Twitter about how he deserves a rematch. Doesn't take a fight for the rest of the year. Just makes noise after noise after noise about how he had won so many fights in a row. How he is pretty much the greatest bantamweight of all time. Yeah, pretty much, right? Like he is, right? So he's the defending champ. Best bantamweight of all time, has one title defense. We have seen champs getting rematches for worse. Sean O'Malley, right now, is getting a rematch for worse. Quite literally worse. Sean O'Malley barely made it through the rankings. I poked his way through the rankings and then robbed Piotr Jan. He's getting a rematch. And so Merab is going to whinge about it a lot for the rest of the year. And Sean O'Malley is going to be like, yeah, I wouldn't mind giving him another shot. I don't, if the UFC say so. And the UFC are never, ever, ever promoting this guy again. They do not like him. Even though we, the fans, have come around to him, they don't like him. So that's the end of it for him. Sorry, brother. Sorry. Coming in next. And number 3 on the pound for pound list. Ilia Topuria. Ilia Topuria, lad. Nobody talks about him, lad. Oh, Ilia Topuria, what a chat. What are we going to do for the rest of the year? We are knocking out Charles Oliveira. And then after we knock out Charles Oliveira, we are going to be calling out Paddy Pimblett. Do not believe that the UFC will not try to make Paddy Pimblett versus Ilia Topuria by the end of the year or as soon as goddamn possible. Okay? Stipe Miocic got a title shot. Yair Rodriguez is getting that title shot. Colby Covington. Ladies and gentlemen, who am I kidding? Gentlemen, who am I kidding? Degenerates of the MMA community. Colby Covington got a title shot because he was the backup fighter. That's what got Colby Covington a title shot. Yeah? Yeah? They are 100%, as Dean Thomas says, for the market, not for the sport. And the fans won't even complain about this one. Obviously, it'll be Arman. But I don't know if Arman takes a fight for the rest of the year. I think Arman is doing grappling competitions to keep his body tight, to keep his mind in the game, to stay in training camps. I think that's why Arman's doing so many grappling competitions. But I think Arman really is like, I'm not fighting if it's not for a number 1 contender spot of the belt. I don't know. And I don't think they're giving Paddy Pimblett Arman. So there's a chance that they just rest Paddy Pimblett. Like, remember, they rest... Oh, dude, I can see this happening, man. They rested Sean O'Malley for an entire year after the Piotr Jan fight. They rested him for an entire year. Don't tell me they won't rest Paddy Pimblett. He's been the most created fighter since Sean O'Malley. I think they push for an Ilia Topuria versus Sean O'Malley by the end of the... versus Paddy Pimblett by the end of the year. After he gets through Oliveira... Depending on injuries, depending on schedule, December, I'm looking at you, December. I'm feeling December. Paddy Pimblett, Ilia Topuria. I can just... You bench Sean O'Malley for a year. You did. You benched Sean O'Malley for a year. You'll bench Ilia Topuria. You'll bench Paddy Pimblett. Yeah, that's happening, mate. Lock that one in. Paddy Pimblett, Ilia Topuria, maybe December, I reckon. All right, John Jones. We sort of cleared this one up, but we'll just do it for the sake of brevity. Just a reminder. John Jones says, yes, I'm going to fight Tom Aspinall. Don't worry, I was never ducking him. This was my plan the entire time. Obviously, I was going to fight Tom Aspinall in November. It's my send-off fight. It's my sweet serenade. And then 2 weeks before the card, John Jones is going to have a horrible injury. If only he could fight. And then he's just going to apologize to the fans and thank them so much for a wonderful career. He's going out as the absolutely undisputed GOAT. For some people. For morons. And he'll just claim victory on Twitter like he does. He'll just gaslight the win on Twitter forever. Like he gaslights us on Twitter. How can I be ducking? How can I be ducking when I'm living my best life? I'm out here sipping coconut, looking at ladyboys, getting in a hot pool surrounded by Russian men. How is this ducking when I'm living my best life? That is, you are ducking, John Jones. So John Jones is going to ride off into the sunset, surrounded by Russian men in a pool, rolling around in their juices, saying that he's the greatest fighter of all time. He isn't. Mighty Mouse is. All right, and lastly, Islam Makhachev, the disputed #1 pound-for-pound fighter in the world, because he's going to be moving up and getting slept by JDM. Islam Makhachev does move up, does get slept by JDM, takes the rest of the year off to recover, and then moves back down to 155. I do not believe Team Khabib or even Islam Makhachev himself is wanting to go out on a loss, so he will come back down after we sleep Paddy Pimblett. And then the wee thing is so good. And then the super fight of 2026 in July is Islam Makhachev, after being chinned by JDM, fights Ilia Topuria back at 155. I think that's the super fight at the middle of the year. You know how the UFC likes to have one big fight in the first quarter, one big fight in the middle, and then one big fight towards the end of the year? I think that's what it is. That's how I'm writing the script for the rest of the pound-for-pound fighters for the rest of the year. If you enjoyed this video, hit the like down there. Let me know. You're going to let me know which ones did I screw up completely. Let me know about it down there in the comments. Oh, g'day. If it's your first time here, my name's Dougie, by the way. I make an MMA video every single day of the week. It's Friday, so we're at the end of the week, so we bloody did it, boys. We got through the drought. We just got to get through Blanchfield versus Barber, and then we can actually start having fun again with UFC. Thank God. What a 2-week run. That was horrible. And if you're a paying member of the channel, thank you so much. Your names are up on the next slide, and I'll see you all in the next video. Goodbye.